We haven't covered that yet. Cash flow to creditors. That's interest expense minus change in debt, but it's, again, we haven't covered this, but if we had basic operating cash flow is the following: net income plus depreciation plus interest expense. So given that you're told that you knew that net income was negative, given that you can assume that operating cash flow was also negative, who's going to tell me whether that statement is correct or not? Again, we haven't covered that, but I'm using this as an example to argue. Sticker risk, yes. And why do you think it's true? You're saying probably, and probably is not an argument. Okay? Probably is the reason why you picked true as an answer. The reason and reasoning are two different things. The reasoning, the correct answer is false. The reason it's false, operating cash flow is net income plus depreciation and interest expense. Now, those depreciation and interest expense may be large enough to compensate for the negative net income. Before you know those numbers, you don't know, right? So if I make a statement that negative net income means negative operating cash flow, that is not always true. A statement that is not always true is false by its very definition, at least in this case. I'm working on some sort of software. I actually call those Schrodinger questions. They're not just true, false. It's true, false, or uncertain. Hence the Schrodinger. Who knows why I call that Schrodinger? The cat. It's thought experiments coined by Erwin Schrodinger, one of the fathers of quantum physics. In quantum physics, before you actually make an observation on the status of a subatomic particle, you don't know what that is. It's uncertain. So he designed this thought experiment. Here's a box. In that box, there are two parts. In one part that is completely safe, nothing escapes, goes in and out, there's a cat, and in the other part there's a poisonous gas. But there's a little trap door. That door opens if a certain electron hits a certain spot. Okay? That means, you measure it and you know that it hits. As soon as it hits, that trap operates, poisonous gas comes in, and obviously the cat dies. But before you may open the box, you don't know whether the cat is dead or alive. So as far as quantum physics is concerned, the cat is neither dead nor alive, or the cat is both dead, both and alive. That's why I call them the Schrodinger questions. Just paying an homage to Erwin Schrodinger. An homage is a French word for paying respects. So my fall 2024 Finance 300 students, they'll have questions like those. And none of those are going to be on Blackboard. I'm developing a software on Excel that's going to randomly generate questions, but it has a lot of bells and whistles. A, some of the questions are going to be Schrodinger questions, and B, when you take these random quizzes, you get a certain number of questions. I have pretty large test banks. Some of the questions by lot are going to be harder than the others, right? Well, I'm going to give you a kind of limited option. Let's say I'm going to ask you 20 questions in that quiz. And I'm going to tell you, for 5 of them, you get to pick a replacement. But you're going to pay a price for it. Okay. So a question comes up, it's worth 10 points. And you look at it, you say, come on, man, don't ask me this. You're going to say, can I please have a replacement? I'm going to say, sure, if you pay me 1 point. So you'll get a replacement, but the replacement could get you only 9 if you answer correctly. You can also ask for a second replacement. That's okay. You still have to pay 1 point out of 9. 9 is 8. Or you can choose your replacement on other stuff. On final exams, I'm going to actually give you kind of flexibility. Let's say I have 30 topics that I would normally want to ask stuff on. But it's only a 2-hour exam. I can't ask 30 questions. So I'm going to pick some topics that are, central. Let's say 10 of them. And I'm going to tell you, okay, you can pick 5 of the topics yourself. So instead of getting questions from random topics, you're going to get 5 questions from the topics you believe you are strong. But that's a lot of coding, so I need my summer for that. I kind of started it last summer, but I got interrupted because my current landlords called me and said, I was waiting for that house to be available. Oh, by the way, it's available. You want it? I said, yes. But that meant I had spent a month before the school started on that. So I'll finish that up. It looks beautiful. Let me actually see. I have some of the screens available. Let me find it. It has a code name. I think it's Zekerus. I think this is the one. Most of the coding is about maintaining where things are. Come on, where are you? Of course it's not responding. Don't worry about that. It's basically teacher's homepage and stuff. When you're designing a test, there are a lot of options that you have to take care of. Oh, I also have options for confidence-based marking. On any questions, you can say, I want this graded the traditional way. If you're right, you get 10 points. If you're wrong, you get nothing. Fine. But you could also say, I want this graded the fuzzy. Not only you're going to tell me what the right answer is, but you also have to tell me how confident you are in that answer. If you're fully confident, I'll give you 12.5 out of 10. If you're right. But if you're wrong, you'll get -5. That doesn't mean you're getting 5 points. You're losing 5 points from other questions that you already made. Okay? Switchable marking. This is called dynamic marking. Sometimes I ask multiple questions on the same information, especially if the question is numerical. It has 5 parts. You may have answered the first 3 correctly, or let's say you answered the second one incorrect, but given that was the correct answer, your fourth would have been correct as well. And If you have dynamic marking, it kind of compensates for that. I did all of that to be able to grade homework assignments automatically. Oh, there's even something called horrible answer penalty. If I ask you total assets and you told me it's negative $50, that's considered a horrible answer. You know, if I was teaching back in Turkey in 1980s and you told me negative assets were, uh, you told me total assets were negative 50, you would have had a chalk in your head immediately. Because I had a lot of those. Not because I gave the wrong answers. I pissed off the professors by telling them they were wrong. They didn't have that. I got kicked out of the class a few times for doing that. But that's gonna all wait for other stuff. These are, you can attach subjects and inputs to a lot of stuff. It'll be nice when it's completed. All right. Let's go back to the arguments. Now that's an argument. The following is never an argument. This goes back to the statements that are true but completely useless. Because you said so. Right? Just because I said something doesn't make it a reason. It doesn't make it true anyway.